Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, in this very aesthetic reading today, we're going to take a look at what your purpose is in this lifetime. We're going to take a look at why your soul is here on this planet, what purpose you're fulfilling, maybe even a look at some messages that might help guide you towards fulfilling this purpose, and hopefully you'll be well on your way by the end of this reading to doing exactly what you came here for. So we have 3 piles for you to choose from. I got some potpourri and I really like the look of it. So for pile number 1, we have this really cool flower. For pile 2, we have what looks like some pods, like seed pods, all tangled up together. And for pile number 3, we have this little bunch of, I don't know what these guys are, but they're really cool. And there's like a ton of them in this thing of potpourri. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and pick a pile. If you enjoy this video and find it resonates, then remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel and help me grow, then make sure you share the reading with someone who could use it. But yeah, go ahead and pick your pile, and I will see you guys at the timestamps below. Hello, pile 1. So if you picked this really cool flower looking guy from the intro, then here is your reading. And we're taking a look at which... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little flustered for words. Pile 1, I feel like your energy is quite intimidating. But we're taking a look at what your purpose is in this lifetime. So I haven't taken a look at these. I have pre-shuffled these cards, but we have 4 core cards, and then we have 4 clarifiers, and then we'll take a look at some advice on how you can fulfill this purpose easily and quickly. So we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. Interesting. We have the Hermit. Okay, immediately I'm hearing you're here to help people process loss through the power of community. But the 6 of Wands in reverse, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, is maybe people come to you when they are facing loss or grief or, something like that. And your job is to make sure that they are not isolated through this process, because I feel like the worst part of being in pain or grieving or feeling a sense of loss is it can be so isolating. And the more you isolate, the less easy it gets to heal, because we are social creatures by nature. And we are here to live in a community. So when things go wrong and then our isolation tendencies kick in, it kind of tends to make things a little worse. So I feel like your purpose might have to do with almost reintroducing people to the idea of community. But let's have a look. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse. A lot of reversals for you, pile 1. Interesting. And we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this definitely feels like you work with heartbreak a lot. You work with healing heartbreak in some way. And this, okay, so when we say life's purpose, we tend to usually think of career choices or things we do for money, but it doesn't have to be that way. your life's purpose could be to provide healing in a more personal way. Maybe you give really good advice, or maybe you do a lot of like charity work. But I am getting a sense of some form of mental and emotional healing. With all of these reversals, it almost feels like the best part, well, I don't know if this is the best part of it all, but it could be a reason. Sorry, my thoughts are like all mixed up with you, Power One. And it's very interesting because I haven't had this issue today at all of like brain fog. So it definitely feels a little bit like, oh, maybe that's like the kind of person you work with, is people who just cannot seem to find, that the honking is always a sign of confirmation. But maybe you work with people who cannot articulate how they feel, or they're not able to process or achieve clarity of thought. And maybe that comes from a place of, trauma or some sort of history with pain and suffering and loss and isolation. And it seems to me like your purpose involves a lot of helping people through these things, potentially through your own experience of these emotions, of this feeling of like darkness and almost depression. Like maybe some of you guys suffer from it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is just part of being human, But maybe your journey is to find a sense of healing and then help others achieve that same healing through a sense of community. So let's have a look at your clarifiers, part one. So clarifying the Six of Wands in reverse, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. Clarifying the Hermit in reverse, we have the Chariot. This is the first card that's come out upright for you, pile number one. That's interesting. Maybe you have like heavy Cancer placements in your birth chart, or maybe your healing is to do around like home and hearth. I don't know if that makes sense, but Page of Cups in reverse. The Page of Cups upright usually tells me about kind of like a naive idea of love and soulmates. And in this deck specifically, that red thread is the thread of fate that connects people who are destined to be together. So to have that in reverse, maybe the healing work that you do involves people who are suffering from heartbreak. Maybe you're a couples counselor or something like that. Or maybe you've been through a thing where you've lost what felt like a soulmate or something like that. And then once you learn to heal from that, you're able to hold that space of healing for other people who go through this as well. And clarifying the Ace of Cups in reverse, we have the Magician in reverse. Yeah. I think, okay, so the message I'm hearing very loud and clear is that a lot of times when people are grieving loss in this way, and they're struggling with emotional imbalance of some sort, it almost feels like they're spiritually blocked. They're not able to manifest. They're not able to perform, for lack of a better term. And it almost feels like that's where you come in to help people process all of this. And with the Chariot being the only upright card, the point I was trying to make about this being around home and hearth, maybe you help people who come from broken homes, or maybe you help people who might have a broken home, like maybe someone's, broken up with a long-term partner or things like that. And because it does feel a little bit like couples counseling type vibe, where, well, maybe not couples counseling so much as helping people deal with heartbreak from bad relationships. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that's a thing, but maybe it is. Maybe you are the person that people go to when they've just been through a breakup, and you're able to help them reconnect with a sense of home is inside of you as opposed to in another person. Because with that Cancer energy, I'm getting a very strong sense of belonging. Maybe that's how you help people feel, is like they belong somewhere. And that's such a beautiful feeling, part one. Like I feel it right now. It's that feeling of holding someone's hand and pulling them out of isolation. It feels like a hug. Your energy feels like a really warm hug, part one. It's beautiful. I feel like you definitely have a very watery, very healing aura, maybe even some earthy placements, even though we don't have any earth cards. Well, we have Virgo. I did feel Virgo, but in the more sort of warm, homey, hearthy type sense of Virgo. It feels very gentle, your energy does. It feels very gentle. Almost like so here's how I feel if I were to come to you for help going through any of this stuff. I feel like I would come to you just completely heartbroken, maybe feeling very heavy and, dramatic. And I feel like you would sit me down, make me a cup of like hot chocolate, maybe. And you'd sit me down and help me process whatever has happened, and then maybe remind me of who I am outside of this situation, and bring me to a point where I'm laughing and looking forward to life again. That's kind of how I feel. And maybe that's how you make a lot of people feel in your life already. Or maybe that's kind of a career path you're looking at, is some sort of talk therapy or counseling of some sort. Again, like I said, our purpose doesn't have to be our job. A lot of the times it can be, but it doesn't have to be. And in this case, because there is so much water energy, I definitely feel like this isn't so much your full-time job, but maybe you just do something in terms of career. Like maybe you do something professionally just to get the money sorted, but your real passion lies in helping people through these kinds of things. Or maybe, helping people through these kinds of things is what helps you feel fulfilled in your soul. That's so beautiful. Your energy feels like a warm bath. I'll just straight up listing things that make me feel comfort. But that's kind of what your energy feels like. It feels like comfort. It feels like I can sit down and take a breath. That's how you make me feel. That's wonderful. So let's go ahead and see how you can best achieve this purpose. We're going to shuffle some oracle cards on camera for you. We have jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Yeah, I feel like that's exactly the kind of advice you would give people is, change is the only constant in life. It's what we're here for. And you might as well embrace it since there's no going back. You might as well say yes to something new and see where it leads. Oh, that's wonderful, pile number 1. And let's get one more card for how you can go about fulfilling your purpose. Thank you. Play. Oh, this is the other energy I definitely got, is that sense of reminding people to giggle and laugh again. It says, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. I feel like these two go really nicely together, these two cards, where it's about embracing that fun, frolicky energy, and putting all like the heaviness aside. Didn't we just speak of that poem? Oh, that's so beautiful. So, any final messages for my pile number 1, please? Any messages? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like this is... Yeah, we have the 10 of Swords, the 3 of Cups in reverse, and the 5 of Coins also in reverse. So many reversals. I feel like you definitely work with people whose lives seem to be regressing from what is traditionally expected to be like the trajectory of someone's life. And I feel like you definitely help them process this and come to a point where they don't feel as left out in the cold anymore. And that is how you fulfill your soul's truest purpose in this lifetime, Pile 1. So beautiful energy. That's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. I love your energy, Pile 1. You make me so happy. So relieved almost. But yeah, I hope this reading brought you some clarity, and I'm so excited for the people that you're about to heal, because they are going to be some of the most beautifully adjusted humans on this planet. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me, Pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, then remember to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check out the outro for more readings, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading about your soul's purpose in this lifetime. So if you picked this really funny, almost bean cover looking guy, then this is your reading. And also straight away, I'm gonna just come out and say it. Your energy feels rebellious to me. When I was shuffling these cards, I haven't looked at them, and I specifically wanted them to fall out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 clarifiers, all face down. And every time I asked for 1 card, it would pop out like 7. Every time I asked for face down, it would pop out face up. I feel like pile number 2, you are here to shake things up. You are here to rebel against the system, at least from how the deck was behaving. But let's have a look-see. So we have the 7 of Swords, the Queen of Swords. Oh, you do not mince words, and you like to have it your way. Pile number 2. I respect that. I really do. Interesting energy. So maybe you have a tendency to kind of work a little magic behind the scenes, in maybe like a trickstery way. That's the vibe I'm getting. maybe you have naughty tendencies in that when someone tells you to do things a certain way, you will specifically do it the other way around just to prove that you can't be told what to do. And I feel like you don't sugarcoat anything for anyone, and you never will. One of my cables just fell off the table. So this is definitely some fun energy. Pile number 2. We have the 3 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this definitely feels to me like anti-establishment, anti-social cues, social, what's the word for it? Socially acceptable behavior. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe you struggle with social cues as well. You never know. But yeah, because the 3 of Cups upright talks about community, about celebration. And I feel like you go against all of that. Maybe you're very vocal about not celebrating popular holidays. Maybe you don't like the connotations of it. Maybe you don't appreciate the commercialization of it. This gives me very strong Aquarius energy, very like Uranus energy, where it's like, I will actively reject the norm if that means it encourages individuality in everyone around me. That's kind of the vibe I get. And your final card is, again, the Hermit in reverse. So a different pile got this. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting because, like I said, that Aquarian energy is very individualistic, but also it is very communal. It's very using individuality to raise society as a whole, to raise it above where it currently is. And with the Hermit in reverse, that's kind of the vibe I get as well, is using that hermit tendencies. It almost feels like I'm honing a skill privately and then becoming the absolute best at it, and then coming out and sharing it in such a way that no one's ever seen it before. Maybe you tend to be an innovative thinker. Maybe you're a creator of some sort, but also this gives me very big like influencer vibes, but not in like a, like a hashtag influencer, but more like someone who influences creativity and individuality in everyone around them. That's kind of the energy I'm getting from you guys. Because with the 7 of Swords here, that's what's throwing me off a little bit, because 7 of Swords generally talks about being sneaky, being, a little rule bendy. And I feel like you definitely have that sense of rules were made by humans to keep other humans in check. And my only purpose in life is to show everyone that humans are not meant to rule over other humans or over anyone or anything else. I am here to actively spit in the face of tradition. That's kind of the vibe. It's very rebellious. I love it for you, Pile 2. I feel like your purpose definitely revolves around expression, around not lying in order to conform to social expectations. And I feel like Pile 2, you're here to shake things up. So let's go ahead and look at some clarifiers now. So to clarify the 7 of Swords, we have the King of Wands. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're definitely a fiery personality, Paul 2. I wouldn't be surprised if you had some very strong Leo Aquarius placements, maybe like North and South nodes, or if you just have like a very solid Leo positioning somewhere in your birth chart. Because this definitely feels like not even necessarily leader, but more like a trailblazer energy. I feel like your purpose involves changing how the world thinks. It involves such like a deep influence on, and not okay, so the term influence usually suggests that if I said you influence the thinking of millions of people around the world, that would kind of indicate that you might be telling people how to think. Whereas in your case, it's almost influencing people to not allow themselves to be influenced. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but it definitely feels like you kind of encourage every single person that you meet to stop listening to advice that they are given. Your advice is to stop listening to advice. That is so funny. Okay, to clarify the Queen of Swords, we have the Star in reverse. The Star is an Aquarius card as well. That's in reverse. Maybe you hate the whole idea of like when people tell you what you should be dreaming of. Like, you know how, say Hollywood, for example, the whole like Hollywood dream about like glamour and, you know, glitterati and the whole like, I want a big mansion by the beach. I want 1,200,000 million followers. I want that, you know, influencer vibe. I want the fake tan, the extremely white teeth. I want, you know, all of that. And that's the popular notion of what people in certain societies are expected to want. And maybe the Star in reverse is here to tell me that your whole thing, your whole personality is centered around making it so that no one is forced to dream a common dream as everyone else. I'm trying to put this energy into words. It feels like every single thing you do is so deeply rooted in not just your own individuality, but also in promoting individual thinking in the people who view your work. It's definitely giving me like very, I'm trying to think, very I keep hearing rock star vibes, but not like a musician rock star, but more like a social rock star type deal. The Three of Cups in reverse is clarified by the Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I feel like it's not even a question with you, pile number 2. There's no two ways about it. You are who you are, and you've never doubted that for a second. And you've never doubted that everyone is inherently unique. That the thought of, you know, everyone might be just a replica of each other never even occurred to you. The thought of adopting social ideals never even occurred to you. You feel like the kind of person who would actively riot against all of this. Now, final clarifier for the Hermit in reverse is the Sun in reverse. There's that Leo energy in reverse as well. That is so interesting. Both the major arcana here, you have the Aquarius one and the Leo one, which are sister signs. So they like lie on opposite sides of the astro wheel. And they're both here and both in reverse, along with Virgo. Maybe you're born on a cusp between Leo and Virgo. But yeah, you're not trying to be a leader. That's the thing. You're not trying to tell people how to live. You're not trying to influence. You're trying to deprogram people. You're trying to show everyone that someone else's idea of good and desirable is not the norm, or the norm. What we call normal is not necessarily the best choice for every single individual. And I feel like your entire purpose is to spread this message, is to make sure that people are not forcing themselves into a mold when the collective would be much better served if everyone was allowed to be their own individual selves, which is such an energy that we need right now since we're in the age of Aquarius pile 2. So I, for one, am extremely grateful that you are here doing this all the time. So let's now go ahead and get some advice on how you can best live this purpose, pile 2. Although I feel like I could tell you how to do it and you wouldn't do it. We have we have forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. That last sentence, be the leader you wish you had, feels like advice that you would give people. Because, like I said, you're not trying to be a leader by yourself. You're trying to cultivate leaders. That's it. Maybe you work in kind of a setting where you train other trainers. And maybe that's your path in life. Any advice on how my pile number 2 can live their truest purpose? Okay, that one. Thank you. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Yeah, again, this is exactly the kind of thing you would tell people. That is so cool that these advice cards are not even advice for you. It's advice you give other people, which feels so you, pile 2. That is exactly the kind of energy. I could try to give you advice and you'd probably throw it in my face and give me advice. That's kind of the vibe. And I, for one, love it. I love when someone can match energy like that and throw it back at you. It's really cool. You're such cool people, pal 2. Seriously, I want to be friends with you. That's what I want to do. Oh, I love it. Okay. Any final messages from a pile 2 about their purpose? Anything at all that they could use right now? Whoa, okay. We have the 9 of coins. Again, talking about getting that coin on your own terms. Any final messages for pile number 2? Thank you. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. And also one of my favorite Major Arcana cards. Are we allowed to have favorite Major Arcana cards? Because the Emperor is definitely one of mine. Yeah, this 9 of coins and the Emperor both talk about individual success, individuality. And I mean, doesn't that just fit the entire theme of your reading perfectly, pile number 2? Because you are literally here to create creators, if that makes sense. You are literally here to cultivate that deep sense of individuality in every single person you meet. Be that in a professional setting or in a personal setting, it doesn't matter. You shout, you scream your purpose, you scream your individuality, you scream rebellion, and people can't help but take notice and listen and be influenced by you, even if you're not trying to actively influence them to think a certain way. That is severely cool, pile number 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I love this energy. But that's all the messages I have for you today, pile 2. I really hope this reading helped. And, I don't even need to tell you this, but please keep being yourself we need people who think like you do, and we need people who influence others the way you do. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. The world is definitely made a much more creative, fun place with you in it. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me and letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, the cool stuff. Hang around for the outro towards the end. The timestamp is below for another reading on my channel. And yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So if you picked this cool, flowery looking guy, it almost feels like a bunch of wheat. But if you picked that guy, then this is your reading about your life's purpose. So let's go ahead. So for the other 2 piles, I did feel like the deck was shuffling in a very specific way, but I didn't necessarily feel anything crazy with you guys. So I definitely think the message is more in the cards themselves as opposed to how they act. But maybe you're just an easygoing person, and we love that. God knows we love that. So let's have a look at your cards. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands, the 8 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, let's just flip this one as well. We have the 8 of Coins in reverse. Pile 3, your energy definitely feels very, understated. It feels very chill. Like, I could walk in a room and not even notice you until you wanted me to. That's kind of the vibe I get. I'm not saying that you're like a wallflower or anything, but I definitely feel like you have tremendous control over how you project yourself. And yeah, I think you might be one of those like quiet but creative types. Because this Ace of Wands and the 8 of Swords together kind of make me feel like you're one of those people who will work in silence, and then when you're ready, you'll kind of show up and reveal yourself. And even then, it's not like a huge affair. It's not like a huge, like, oh, everyone look at me type thing. It feels more like you're doing your thing and you're happy. And it doesn't matter whether people approve or whether people even notice or look at you. I feel like you are so happy in your own company, you don't even need anyone else. But in terms of your purpose, I definitely feel, well, you could be a literal artist with this imagery here, but I also feel that whatever you do by and for yourself. I don't think you work extremely, like, backbreakingly hard in the sense of you don't burn yourself out whatsoever. And even if, you do work extremely hard, it's not like a huge thing where you announce it to everyone like, hey, look at me, I'm such a hard worker. I feel like you definitely do your best as you can, but it's not necessarily a huge deal. You feel like a very chill person, pile number 3. But what does this have to do with your purpose? I think I do feel like your purpose is definitely more internal than it is external. So it's not so much of like how you're going to serve the community. I feel like in this lifetime, you are here mostly to just vibe mostly to just like hang out and, you know, enjoy what life has to offer. It's a very like chilled out, very laid back kind of, I'm gonna get in a camper van and go wherever I want. I'm not tied down to anything. I don't work for anyone. I work for me, and everything I do is in service of my highest purpose, of my highest self. I feel like you're a very spiritual person, but in kind of like a fun, kind of non-traditional way. But even then, it's not like a loud, rebellious energy like we saw in one of the other piles. It definitely feels more like a quiet rebel, like a so the energy has changed tremendously across this reading. And I feel like with your energy, I just feel so like everything is possible, everything is okay with the world. Maybe you're someone who just does not worry. Maybe you're just that laid back where things could be going fully wrong in your life and you'd be like, yeah, okay. So moving forward. Yeah, there's a really loud car going past, and yeah. That really bothered me. Like normally I see these vehicles and everything as like confirmation, but for some reason that one specifically really bothered me. Maybe you're someone who's very sensitive to loud noises, or you just don't enjoy the limelight. You don't necessarily enjoy eyes on you. And maybe your life's purpose is to just do whatever you want. Like, I almost feel like there is no weight on my shoulders. And as an anxious person, I've been desperate for this energy just my whole life. And I have to be honest, I am a little envious that you guys get to live your life like this, because it is such a freeing energy, pile 3. So let's go ahead and get you some clarifiers. So clarifying the 5 of Cups in reverse, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. So that's very interesting because the 5 of Cups in reverse talks about actually recognizing your blessings. So when this card is upright, she's lamenting the 3 cups that have fallen, but she doesn't see that there are still 2 cups standing just fine. And so to have it in reverse, to me, always says, I recognize the blessings that I have despite what life is throwing at me. And to have that clarified by the 6 of Wands in reverse, again, it definitely feels like you don't need or even want any pomp or circumstance or anything like that. You don't want the accolades. That's not why you do whatever you do. And it really doesn't matter what you do. You know, I feel like you're already at a stage in your life where you are doing what you want to do for work. And it almost feels like you don't even really care about what anyone thinks of it, what anyone thinks of your job or of your career or your choices. You're mostly just here to vibe, man. Your energy feels very soothing. It feels very like, I don't want to say spacey because that has like a negative connotation, but it almost feels like you're not even off the earth. You're just here as a tourist. You're just on this planet on vacation. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like your life is just one long vacation. That's so cool. Oh, well, with a camper van, your life just might be one long road trip, you know. We have the King of Wands clarifying the Ace of Wands, which is so interesting because it's not like there's no passion. I hope I didn't make this energy come across that way. It's not that because you're a fairly chill person that you're not passionate about anything. That's not true at all. I feel like you are so passionate about it that you don't allow anything else to affect how you feel. say, for instance, you're an artist, like this card suggests, you are so passionate about the work you do. You're so passionate about the art that you create that even if everything is going wrong, even if people tell you you're not working hard enough or you're not doing this and that, you haven't achieved this or that, you don't care because you are so in love with what you do, with your craft, that no one can shake you. And again, it doesn't have to be work related. Maybe your passion lies in your family or the people you love or the people you care about or the animals that you care about. You know, it doesn't matter what this is about. Whatever you feel passion for, you are so deeply rooted in that passion that it literally doesn't matter what people say, because you are going to enjoy it and make the most of it anyway. So why even bother worrying? That's kind of your vibe. I feel like I don't even need to tell you what your purpose is, because you don't necessarily have a purpose in the traditional sense of it. Of like, you know, when people say, oh, this is my life's purpose, they're usually referring to like their dharma or their like work that they're supposed to do here. You're not here to work. I mean, you do work, and I'm sure you work quite hard, and you know, you do everything that is needed, but it feels like that's not why you're here. You're just here to enjoy everything that life on earth has to offer. And that's what you're passionate about. Is not even something specific or like a specific activity. I feel like your passion lies in life. I feel like your passion lies in just, you know, making the most of what you have right now, not hoarding things, not, you know, holding on to the past or holding on to like certain desires. I feel like you are someone who's happy to just go with the flow, see where it will take you. Clarifying the Eight of Swords, we have the Knight of Wands. So again, it's not that you don't know how to have fun, because these two cards to me feel like almost polar opposites, because this character is like rushing forward so eagerly, whereas this character is just chill, like, well, not chill necessarily. The Eight of Swords talks about putting yourself in like a cage of swords, whereas this character is very free. Maybe you find freedom in solitude. Maybe that's one of your big passions, is just to spend time with yourself, is to just do whatever you want, where you are not on someone else's clock. And that is what gives your life meaning and purpose, is the ability to just be. Not even necessarily to be a certain somebody, but just to exist, just to be able to breathe, you know, just to be able to drink water, to eat fruit, you know, just to feel the earth under your feet. That is your purpose. It's not anything crazy or dramatic. You're just here for the vibes. So our final clarifier with the Eight of Coins in reverse is the Queen of Wands in reverse. That is so interesting, because we also have the King of Wands upright. But I feel like the difference between these two, intuitively to me, the Queen feels more active. It's almost like in chess, you know how the Queen will move a lot farther than the King does, whereas the King just chills in one place. I feel like that's the message here, is I don't think you're the kind of person, or when you're living in your truest purpose, you won't be the kind of person who does so much all the time. You feel more like the kind of person who knows who they are, knows what they are worth, knows what they are here to do, and therefore doesn't have to go around chasing anything. You hold still and you let things come to you. You allow the universe to provide for you. And that is your purpose, is to just be. Oh, it's so, I feel so like zened out about number 3. I love this energy so much. So any advice on how pile 3 can live this purpose to its truest, fullest, extent? Both? Okay. We're going to look at both. We have big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary inspired ideas, and we have all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Yeah, I think you don't even need like the day-to-day. You enjoy the day-to-day, don't get me wrong, but you don't need that structure. I think you have, like this card suggests, I think you have great visions that would change the world, but you are not someone who is forcing it down people's throats. You are not here for that. You are here to simply inspire by existing. You are simply here to be yourself, and that is more than enough to inspire an entire generation to do better. Yeah, you have such a solid inner authority. That is exactly the phrase I would use to describe you, is this sense of sovereignty. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I have nothing to prove to anyone. I think that's where that calmness comes from. You ground me, pile 3. I'm so glad you're here. So, any more advice on how pile 3 can best live their life's truest purpose? Ooh, 2 cards again. Interesting. Birthing a new age. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yeah, maybe you do work in the arts, and maybe you do work that's creative, because with this and this big picture thinking, maybe you are literally a visual artist. Pile number 2, that is so cool. And pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. I think this is a beautiful message here, because do you see how this character is not doing anything to make their vibration rise? They are simply existing, and that alone is causing them to align to this source of light. I definitely feel like this is exactly the kind of energy. You vibrate on a different plane of existence. Pile 3, like I can't even tell you what your purpose is because my brain could not comprehend it. Do you know who you remind me of? So there was this Indian dance show where it was kind of like a competition, kind of like America's Got Talent type deal, but specifically for dance and specifically in India. And I don't think I watched the entire season, but what I do remember was this one dancer. He was a street performer, and he didn't, like, his style of dance wasn't even a style. It was so mesmerizing to watch. He would move in abstract, organic ways that they're not even choreographed. It was truly like watching someone interpret spirit or God or the universe or source energy into dance. And it was the most beautiful thing ever. And it was to a point where they couldn't keep him on the show because they could not direct him. It would make no sense to choreograph this, something like that. And that's the kind of energy I get from you, is people might try to mold you into, doing things a certain way or living a certain way, and you simply move away. You don't even kick up a fuss about it. You'll just be like, no, that's not for me. Bye. Like that's the kind of energy. There's no bad blood. There's no hard feelings. but you just don't. You just don't do it. You cannot be directed, because there is something so powerful inside of you that's guiding you that you don't even see anything else. So any messages, any final messages for pile 3 and their purpose? Thank you. The 7 of Coins in reverse. Yeah, I don't think you're the type to put down roots. I don't think you enjoy the idea of putting down roots or like investing too much in one place or one thing or one venture. I think you definitely are multi-passionate, but I think most of society is not ready for that. And we have the King of Cups. Beautiful. We have 2 kings. Maybe you have very masculine energy. And maybe that's why there's so many expectations. I feel like we talk about all the expectations we have of women or feminine people in society, but I do think we have quite strong expectations of men or masculine people in society as well to, work within certain structures and constraints of society, to, be the provider, be the breadwinner, that kind of thing. And maybe that's caused conflict in your past, pile 3, where you've had these expectations thrust upon you and it just did not work out for you. And instead of fighting about it, you simply move away. And you don't even do it in like an offensive way of like, I'm cutting you out of my life or anything like that. I think you are so gentle and so just easygoing as a person that you could leave someone's life and they wouldn't even feel hurt about it, because there is this purity of soul inside of you that any anger or resentment people have towards you does not even fully form. It diffuses before it's even fully formed. That is so beautiful. Pile number 3. I feel so calm after this reading. So thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me, because this is, wow, this is so powerful in such a gentle and harmonious way. So that's your reading, pile 3. I'm so zenned out right now. But thank you so much for being here and sharing your energy with me and allowing me to read for you. I really hope this reading brought you some clarity and insight. If it did resonate with you, then please remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Check out my Instagram down below. I forgot to plug it in the other 2 piles. But yeah, check it out down below. You can DM me on there. And yeah, stick around for the outro just after this for another reading on my channel. And thanks so much for spending some time with me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!